So this disturbance is support. Any obstacle is support of your proceeding. So more you are proceeding, more the temptations, both good and bad, will come to derail you. Buddha says Mara will appear in a divine dress up and convince you divinely that you are proceeding for nothing. So my guru said, when obstacles come, pay your respect to the obstacles. That obstacles, it's so good that you have come. Enjoy some time with me, but you will not. And then you will leave. And after obstacle comes non-cooperation. People will make you feel alone or single because you are proceeding in the path. There is no one beside you. Don't feel lonely. Be happy. You have got some space and time to yourself. And when even neglect, speaking bad words, trying to stop you, nothing works. Even not letting you feel you are with others, all supports are taken away from you, you become stronger. You know that you have earned a lot of energy fighting with these people. You have not lost the energy because you are not fighting with these people. Rather, they are fighting with you and losing their energies and wearing out. But don't rejoice into that they are wearing out. Rejoice that you have some space and time to yourself. And those who are unwanted has left you. The third part of your journey will be those who created all troubles to you. They have come back to participate with you, to enjoy your bliss, even like scavengers. But that is your time of compassion. I remember when I was practicing Mahakala mantra, Ramnath Aghori Baba said that when you are practicing Mahakala mantra, be sure in a while a lot of bhutas and pretas, hungry ghosts and goblins will surround around you. Because they are attracted towards their liberation. And your practice is their liberation. So when they will come around you, you will feel disturbed. There's no question about it. But if you can carry on your practice, the spirits will get liberated. They will come to their own realizations. So what is today's questions? Let me see what has come. No, no question has come yet. Is there any question from anybody?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah. Yes, ma.
You talk about God, and I really understand it when I'm in India because the gods are very present. But as soon as I get to North America, it's the most empty word I can imagine. So I don't even know how to think about it anymore. I'm confused. Could you say something about it? I understand.
This is also a polarization.
Okay, yes.
The two sides of the coin ultimately one side speaks of existence, the other side speaks of non-existence. So one is yes and another is no. If there is no God, at least existence is there, nature is there, cosmology is there. So who can think the entire cosmology in sum total does not have to name it God. One can name it XYZ or Mr. X or Mr. Triple X. It's how we view, how we try to view things. How we try to view things is from our belief system or our disbelief system. Disbelief is negative belief, and belief is positive disbelief. So somebody may name it God, may personify it as God. Somebody may not personify it. Somebody may see it as a tree. Somebody may imagine it as a bird. Somebody will like to see it absolutely as it is. Nothing particular. Everything as it is very special. And if everything is special, then there is no question of anything is particularly special. Everything is special. So that is the doctrine of Nirvishesha, or nothing special in Advaitavad. That if everything is special, then nothing particularly special. So the special cuts off the special and makes it common. See, at least whenever we talk or listen to others, we give maximum importance to common sense. Because suppose I am in a special sense saying, Lalita Ma, you are having 5 eyes. Suppose with a special sense, I'm seeing you with 5 eyes. The moment I said it, many people are thinking, must be Baba is seeing Lalita Ma has 5 eyes. Somebody is smiling, oh, Baba is making fun of it. Somebody is thinking, if Baba makes fun of it, there also should be some importance to it. Somebody will think, actually not to give importance to anything, Baba is making fun of it. But Lolita Ma remains Lolita Ma and Baba remains Baba. The trouble is created by my envisioning 5 eyes in your forehead. So the trouble is always in this viewpoint. Those who are saying that Allah is bigger than God has neither seen Allah nor God. Those who are saying God is bigger than Allah, they have neither seen God nor Allah. Those who are saying that the Ishvara is greater than Allah and God has neither seen Ishvara nor God or Allah. And thus, ignorance claims speciality, because ignorance takes a funny support called ego, because ignorance does not have any self-respect. It can only have ego. And look around. See every day how much ignorance and how much ego you come across all around. But you go to a forest, you don't hear trees debating with a tree is fighting with a tree. Even animals do not fight until and unless their existence is challenged. So all the commotions in the world of nature is within its limits, but the commotion in human mind is unlimited. So every day we speak 1,000 names of God without understanding a single name of God and its value and what it actually speaks to us. What is the value of it? Acha Janima, in relation to trolls, I recall the Sadhu congregation we were at in 2000, where a sadhu was posing as the head of the congregation when he was actually a dacoit. You shouted at everyone and then stormed out into the night. Quite memorable for me, as I had no idea what was happening until you explained, as we walked back in the middle of the lonely countryside in the black night. Yes, Janima, it is exactly like that. But that time I was young and I had more interest in teasing people who come to disturb you. So anybody has come to disturb me, I used to hold them back. Come on, disturb me. And I used to tease them. So they used to get more angry. And ultimately I used to leave the place and all of them fighting together. So it's like a story in some 20 years back or more. Some 20 years back. So we were in a sadhu congregation in Bolpur, near Shantiniketan, in a forest. It was a Italian drama institute of Grotowski. Grotowski was a spiritual dramatist. And yes, Uwe was there too, Partho was there, and Janima was with me. We went there, and I saw a sadhu with a lot of his people around, whose two hands are cut. He does not have two hands. The story is he offered his hands to the goddess by cutting it off. But the real news is he was from the border of Navadvip and Bangladesh, and he was woman trafficking in the border from Bangladesh to India and India to Bangladesh. And his wife was quite a Kali who took the sword and cut off his two hands. So it's in one way, he sacrificed his hands to Kali. That's also not wrong.
Hello, Appa. Hello.
Hello. And when a prior congregation in Kamakka, the big mela of Kamakka was there, and this sadhu was there, who was actually in a big mela also doing drug and human trafficking. And I had the responsibility of a judge in the congregation of the sadhus, and I had to punish him and get him behind bars. So we are meeting again in an Italian institute of drama. So why they're doing a sadhu congregation? That how sadhus in India, indigenous sadhus, how they attract people or convince people, that they are seeing from the view of drama. They are learning public drama. So they decided they will have a discussion. So everybody wanted to say something. We were all sitting silent. Some 100 sadhus were there. And I was asked to speak about the secret tantra of Tara. So I said, how many people have families here or born out, know their parents, and how many people are bastards? So people got very angry. So one of the dacoits, Bhairavis, shouted at, why are you speaking bad words? I said, no, because the Tara Tantra has said only bastards will understand Tara Tantra, nobody else will understand. It's written. In Sanskrit, it's called Jaraja. Jaraja means bastard. One who has no surety of his or her parents. So if there is someone here is a holy bastard, then I can speak for him or her what is the matter of Tantra. So the man got very angry and said, you are a bastard. I said, absolutely. Otherwise, how can I speak about Tara? But are you a confirmed bastard that you will have the guts and the right to listen to it? Because the start of Tara Rahasya Tantra says only bastards are entitled to this text. So who is a bastard? So with this, some people said, he's saying right. It is written in the book. Some people said, no, he's speaking wrong. How a book can speak so bad? And then they started fighting. The debate started becoming muscular. And by that time, it was time for us that we have put fire in the congregation. Now I told Jenima, let us go. Go out of the forest, and then we will go to a tea shop and have some tea. Let it cook. Find out what they find out. By the night, we again went back. And when we went back by night, there are already the sadhu end has become two different congregations. A number of sadhus have made a big holy fire, and they all invited me and said, you come and sit with us. They don't know how to be bastards. Then I understood these people know what I'm speaking. Actually, it is a twilight language, Sandhya Bhasha. Bastard means one who does not have parentage. Means when you go into Nirvikalpa Samadhi, there is no secondary existence of anything. You cannot even recognize yourself, and there your identity dissolves. In that state, from that state, when you come back, it is said you are self-born. So this self-born or self-birthing is cognate or made a pun, made a code word called the bastard. So if it is written on the start of a text that except bastards, nobody is allowed to read this text, the most of the people will not read it because their ego will prohibit them to read this book. So this is what I think Jenima is reminding me today about the congregation. Okay, some questions have come. Naveen Kumar is asking how to purify chakras. Babaji, please give a light on this. How to purify a chakra, if I say, you won't be able to really follow it because it's a practice that you need to learn it from your guru. But I can theoretically tell you. First, you have to locate your chakras in your spine as well as in your frontal part of the body. This location is not by seeing a picture or reading from a book. It's by the grace of the Guru who shares his experience with you, you directly feel it as you feel your own hand. In the same way, you feel it in your own body where it is and how it is, what's its pulsation, how it works, what's the rhythm of the pulsation of the chakra, everything you can feel. Once you feel it, you take a Shitkarini Mudra, sipping cool breath from the spine to the front in the passage of the chakra from its end in the spine and from its end in the front part of your body. And breathe in and out 25 times. That will cleanse the chakra. But this you have to learn sitting with a yogi who is teaching you. Because without locating the chakra cleansing is not known in my knowledge. There may be people know that, but I don't know. Do you understand it? Naveen? You have to learn it directly.
Okay, Bob.
These are all practical things, cannot be spoken much about, because whatever I speak
Okay, Bob.
will be of experiential standard, and until and unless you experience, it will not make any deeper sense by talking.
Okay, Babaji.
Okay?
Okay, Babaji. Thank you.
Okay. Someday we will meet. That day I will show you how to do it.
Okay,
I
Babaji.
take classes. Like here, one of my friends from Estonia, I can see Irene. And Irene's beautiful
Finland.
daughter. Yes. So she has practiced it. Many here has practiced it. It's not difficult. You just need to locate it, feel it, and start working with it. In Sanskrit, it's called the Kriya Vayu, the hot and cooling breath. Cool inhale and hot exhale. and activating the chakra. Chakras are all nerve clusters or clusters of nerve cells. So by hot and cold treatment, they get activated. Yes, activating the chakras, Aurobindo.
Yes, but Joy Baba, it's I couldn't have done it without you for sure. It's you have to have a yogi with you.
Yeah, it's like
true.
direct experience. So, like theory cannot teach you swimming. You have to go to the water. It's like that. So, any other question today? So, I was thinking of saying something today, forgot. I got so happy with the hungry ghost entering our field. It's really mystic.
Baba, I have a question.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about synchronicity? I keep thinking about the way we met, the fact that if there had been 2 seats on the Jeep before, we may not ever have met. But because there was only 1 spare seat and I was with Lorraine, we had to wait, and then you manifested at the next Jeep. So I'm interested in the concept of synchronicity and whether it's related to karma or coincidence.
I will see both sides of the coin. That there were 3 seats and we 3 could, like we could fit in these 3 seats is a very important coincidence and synchronicity. And that is how we got acquainted in the journey to West Sikkim. But remember, when your friend went down and you carried on, some people came with big gunny bags filled with their harvest or hay chopped, remember? And it was piled, we could not breathe, but till we carried on till Tashiding. So, first is the will. Second, when you have a will, the will make a difference in the cosmic energy. Rohin, so I will tell you. First, I answered Jenima, then we will come back. I will come to your answer also, Rohin. So the will pool your capacity. The capacity will pool your samskara, or what is in your store connected to your will. So it can even go hunting your past and past lives. And if it gets a connection from your past life till the point of your will, then your will is fulfilled by a synchronicity. There is a saying in Yoga Bhashya that whatever a yogi needs, that comes to a yogi. A yogi does not run after anything. What he needs runs after the yogi. It's very difficult to believe, but it's no magic. It's that balance. So your will for spirituality and your past practices of spirituality and your fulfillments and unfulfillments, quests and resolutions, everything came together in a point when you entered Sikkim. Because you are connected to this energy from a long time. From your young days as a photographer and journalist, reaching the birthplace of Guru Rinpoche without having any knowledge that time. Speak about that a little bit.
You mean going to SWAT?
Yeah. How Jenima reached Swat, the birthplace of Swayambhunatha, and that time it was totally unknown, because that time even Dujjam Rinpoche didn't announce that Swat Valley is the birthplace of Padmasambhava.
Well, when I was there, it was a very different place. It was 1974. We went up to the very end of the road, and there were no women anywhere. That was just men. They were quite very tribal.
Just must say which part of the world it is.
In the very north of Pakistan, up near the mountains.
Border of Afghanistan.
Well, yeah, close. And it was quite a confronting place to be. The men all wore they had big muskets and bullet belts and everything. So I was quite surprised later to learn that it had been such an auspicious place thousands of years
before. It's the valley in the Hindu Kush mountains, and there's a lake called Danakosha. Unknowingly, Jenima entered the space, and that time Jenima didn't know about even Vajrayana.
But I had a very profound experience in Goom Monastery before we traveled to Pakistan. And that was a turning point, I think, for me. So something was resonating already.
And she had an experience there, a mystic experience that I remember you told me that time. And from there, her energy started working within her to find her path and journey to choose her way of spirituality. So she was also a member of Siddha Yoga of Swami Muktananda, Nityananda's tradition from Ganeshpuri. She was long in this tradition. So she became a devotee of Shiva. Because Siddha Yoga, of course, the Lord is Shiva and the lady is Shakti. And it was also many years that Jenima was very close to Guru Mai in Siddha Yoga, Muktanandaji's disciple, Chidvilasananda. She's called Guru Mai. And from there, at time it became very popular. And when gurus become popular, that time there was no virtual congregation. So gurus generally run from place to hide away from people and popularity, because it becomes quite impossible to teach everybody. So there was a kind of frustration in Jenima that time. Isn't it, Jenima? Not getting the guru all the time. And from there, she with her friend came to Sikkim for again back to in the abode of Padmasambhava or Swayambhunatha. The birthplace unknowingly she went. Much later, when she was chosen to be the interviewer of Dalai Lama, first time visiting Australia, and she was the journalist who was chosen, she came to know about Vajrayana and learned after that meeting, reading books and things, that Swat Valley where she went unknowingly, the lake where Padmasambhava was found by the great yogis Sri Singha, Manjushri Mitra, and Pravashahasti, the three great masters of Achintapuri Vihara, which is today known as Ajanta in Maharashtra. That was center of Achinta Yoga or non-perceptual yoga, where Padmasambhava was brought up. He was the prince of Swat Valley, king of Indrabhuti, son of King Indrabhuti. But it is believed that he was found as a child floating in the lake of Danakosha, and the king adopted him because the king had no children. But it is a different big story. I'm not going there. So in my hand was my trident, and Jenima started showing from his locket, a locket with a mark of a trident. And Jenima was young and very naughty.
Still am.
And me and my wife was there. We were also young. Jenima, young means I was more young. And Jenima asked, "Where are you going?" I said, "We are going for a retreat in Tashiding, Mount Tashiding, which is said to be the first congregation, great congregation of Tantra or Tantric Nathas and the Buddhist yogis and Shaiva yogis and Shakta yogis. They all congregated there. Even reminiscences of Sharahapa, Saraha, places of Kanhapa, Motchandanath are all around. So like that, and that time we had to climb Tashiding, some 2.5 kilometers deep. Last time you went, you could drive quite near to the monastery. We had to go through the trekking routes. That road was not there. And I knew Jenima won't be able to handle that cold up, and where I will stay, I don't know, because it was a vision of my wife of getting a vast initiation or Prathama Abhishek. I have not given her any Abhishek also because she was disciple of my Guru and I was persuaded to marry her. And I didn't consider her ready for Abhishek so quickly. But she had a dream where 16 goddesses came with vases in their hand and poured it in her head and said, "In this full moon, go with your Guru up the mountain of Tashiding and have this initiation." So she told me, so we are going to Tashiding. We trekked up, leaving Jenima in a beautiful small trekker's hut. It's wooden. And I said, "You will feel good here. Tomorrow you come up." Isn't it, Jenima? Yeah.
You came down again because you had a broken shoe or something. I think that was an
Yeah.
excuse to make sure I came.
And next day I came down, next day. Because in the way of climbing the stone track road, Uma's slippers or shoes, she never wore shoes or fancy slippers. She always was fond of fancies, got broken. So I shared my shoes with her, shouting at her the whole way that I told you again and again, in the mountains, you cannot wear fancy slippers. You have to wear shoes. But she understood what is the choice of fancy in that cold stone road. But I made her wear my slippers, my shoes, but that was also difficult because my shoes were 2 sizes bigger than her. So she was flapping it like a duck and going slowly. So rather than climbing 1 hour, we were climbing more than 2 hours. So next day I came with a fancy broken slippers to get it repaired down, because up in the mountain there's nothing, just the monastery. We came down to the market and picked up Jenima. And also Jenima's friend got very angry that Jenima is not traveling with her to the important place this fixed that they are going. In between get
Bad luck.
thrown away by a magician in the Himalayas.
He's never forgiven me.
With a Satan's fork, with a trident, if not Satan's, at least Neptune's or Poseidon's. But it was an experience. From there, we became friends. But we came to a guru and disciple relationship much later. But we were good friends and we were traveling into this. That time, really, the sadhu congregations, Lolita Ma will remember from India, old times in your young days. The sadhu congregations were really terrible things. It's really Harry Potter stories used to go on happening there. People are fighting with powers, wizards, whatnot. It's enchanting world, not so fake like today. That was an enchanting time. And from there we traveled where not. Joydev Mela, Kamakhya Mela. Now, Kamakhya Mela, you never went with me.
No.
Did you?
I heard about it. No.
No, you never went with me. So Jenima traveled with me to many of these queer places where angels dare. Jenima tread.
It was fantastic.
There were, and she's photographing everywhere. So once Jenima ended up with me in a cremation ground in a congregation of Aghoris. So everybody is wearing a skull, taking out their knives and daggers and tridents, and they're drinking alcohol, eating meat, and even from the funeral pyre, they're eating human meat, and all these. And Jenima was going very near to one. Oh, you are so smart. Click, click. It's so, such an amusement was there those times. And Jenima said this. It's quite like a mystic underworld.
Definitely.
All types of goblins and ghosts are there. So today I was feeling thrilled when the goblins and ghosts came. And they said, we hack your everything. So interesting. Now is the time of exorcism.
Baba, here is one of these photos that Jenny took.
Yeah. This is a picture that Ube is showing.
What is this?
Jenima make Ube's house big. so that everybody can see.
This is what you
It's a
described
part of that
before.
congregation, exactly. You were there too, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah, we were there. We thought
This is
everybody
Jenima's
will kill
picture.
us.
See the characters. I am the small one in between. Chinima, can you make it the main screen? Ube screen? How it is done, I do not know.
I remember, Baba, just after I took that photo, the Agori on the right grabbed me and took me away. And you had said to me not to ever go anywhere without him, without you. And so I was quite concerned, but he wouldn't let me go. And he couldn't speak English. I couldn't speak his language. And he wanted me to come to his congregation to take photographs, I realised. So then I relaxed a bit.
Those days were days of fun.
Amazing.
This
Lots
is
of
Jenima's
magic.
photograph.
Lots of
Yeah.
magic going on.
Yeah, lots of magic going on that time.
Yes.
So,
That was really amazing. Yes. That is what Jenny.
that is the story that Jenima said. Now, Rohinso asked a terrible question. What is the purpose of life? Rohinso, please, can you show your face once? We want to see a serious face. Yes, this is Rohinso Krisikro. If you cannot pronounce it well, it's a Arunachal tribal title. He's a tribal king, and I call it Rohinso Crazy Crow. So
Jai Guru
Rohinso,
Baba.
I cannot see you. What did you? So Rohinso, what you asked
Jai Guru.
is the ultimate question to be answered. I didn't know you have proceeded so much that now you ask the significance of life. I will say in 3 parts the significance of life that I have realized so far. My realizations can change also. If I endeavor into it further, the wheel of experience and knowledge will change. Accordingly, some other time I may say something else. That is why I tell you, don't listen to my bullshit. Sorry, holy cow dung. The first significance of life is that our Mother Earth is not absolutely round, and the 2 sides are a bit tapered, and being tapered, it's breaking a full circle in a difference in the 2 opposite axes of 24 degrees. So 24 degrees maladjusted Earth in a tilted position creates a frequency that is known as life. So the cause of life is the frequency of the tilted Earth with its south pole and north pole a bit tapered with 24 degrees. And when it goes on going round like a ball of clay on the potter's wheel, it will turn round. More it goes round, the motion makes it more and more round. So in that round, if the world comes just now, world is around 12 degrees. So it's half the taper has gone. That is why so much destruction, epidemic are happening, because the frequency of death and destruction is higher than the frequency of life. Not higher, equal, better to say equal. So it's equally fighting, because its life has grown more in the human world, and its energy has taken over the natural energy. So the natural energy already started creating last 20 years, that this 24 degrees started coming near, loosening its degrees and becoming more round, to about now it is about 12 point some degrees. You can find it from the Geological Survey of the world. So this is significance of life and destruction. The second significance, this is all of the past, the significance of the past, is that this polarization and access has started polarizing all lives and evolved humans from there, highly polarized into man and woman. So this man and woman polarization in your parents, in a union or balance, has created you, your life, to ask this question: what is the significance of life? Since you are born, now is the story of the presence. What in presence is the significance of life? The moment you are born with the quality, capability, and the fight of survival. So your survival mode is standing on your fitness to be surviving. So that is the survival of the fittest theory. From this survival of the fittest theory, you have fought your survival out, and we are still living, those who are still fighting. So when we get tired, look back and see that not a moment in our life was constant. It was already moving. Everything was moving. Then our stability of self-identity gets challenged. So what from we get into identity crisis is this: our self-identity gets challenged, that everything has moved. My body has changed. According to the change of the body, my emotions have changed. According to the change of the emotions, my mindfulness, my choices, likings and dislikings have changed. According to my thoughts, perceptions, liking, dislikings changed. My judgments have changed. And according to my judgments, my identities have changed. So who I am or where I am, this who I am, where I am, pushes you furthermore to a question: why I am. Isn't that behind the question, what is the significance of our life? From that point of view, everybody's significance of life has the right to be original and different. how you see your life, how you see the fight of survival, and from there, what wisdom you have acquired. According to that, you can answer your question, what is the significance of life? But the question is coming from there, which is called tiredness of fighting life. Just prior to it, Jenny asked a very, very significant question, which is as significant as your question, because this is the question of this era. That, Baba, how does synchronicity happens? How do you know your significance of your life or your journey to life? How you get convinced is through synchronicity. What is synchronicity? That what you are putting your will in is happening. Then you feel, okay, I am somebody that I want something deeply, and that happens. I want to realize, and I'm realizing. I want to know, I'm asking some questions to people, and I'm not getting answered. Suddenly somebody presented me a book, and wow, the answers are written in the book. Remember, these answers are for you. Whatever you are feeling satisfied with is for you. That is why we should not pester our dharma on others. Everybody's dharma is respected. Today, before starting, I said, I pay my respect to all religions, all prophets, all faiths, and of course, all women, because they're the mothers. It's a conviction, a commitment to my belief system. And it takes me very well, easy. That does not mean I have not fought my existence. You were seeing me for a long time, and you have seen me how I take challenges of life and pass through. So when I pass through, already what I was thinking, in one state of my being hopeless and helpless, that I'm worthless. There's no significance of my life. The next phase comes, and I find I am differently worthless. I'm differently hopeless and helpless. It's better than the before. Soon it will become worse, and I will shift to another. So significance of life is in our head, in our tiredness of continuous changefulness of life. That makes us a question to ourselves. Is there any meaning to life, or it's just meaningless? Suppose there is meaning to life. Suppose. So, what is there any meaning? Now, let us think. Does a tree ask for the significance of life? Does a lion ask for the significance of life? Does a butterfly ask for the significance of life? It flows into its own natural course. Only human brain stopped this natural course and got kicked out from the Garden of Eden, which is the space of natural flow. And we have made conceptions of ambition to reach somewhere that will fulfill me. What I've not reached, I don't know. Still, I think if I reach there will be my fulfillment. The time I've reached there, I'm tired enough to enjoy it anymore. Hari Bol. or I'm not happy with it. It's not according to my imagination. Yes, Priyanka, that is what I'm saying now. So once you come to this sense of presence, this moment, the moment I said this moment, it is a word past. It is a sentence past. The time has passed. The time doesn't stop a moment. So to stop time is to enter the world of Mahakala. What is Mahakala? The great time. What is the great time? Timeless time. What is the timeless time? The time, sense of time in a state of non-perception. That is the time in Samadhi. And the moment you are there, you are in present continuous tense. There is no past, there is no future, or there is no sense of past and there is no sense of future, but a constant flow. It's constant, but you cannot look back. There is no sense of looking back. Neither you can imagine the future because there is no sense of looking into the future. It's only the sense of being present. And this sense of being present is from where the answer of significance of life will be answered to every individual according to their limitations of understanding, according to their limitations of choice, according to their limitations of samskara or conditioning. To start with, in Samadhi, there is no second identity to recognize your identity. So you cannot recognize yourself. Perception drops out. This is Achinta Yoga, thoughtless meditation. Not trying to sweep out thoughts. If you try to sweep out thoughts, more thoughts will infiltrate. It's not thinking about thoughts at all. It's possessed with the stillness of Samadhi, and your identity is dissolving in it. Now your identity is dissolved. Who is asking the question, is there a significance of life? Rohin sir, when you go into deep sleep, who are you to ask who is the significant, what is the significance of life? Isn't the thought of significance of life is your brain jar? This is the present tense. What is future is our unresolved issues around this question. So what is our unresolved issues around this question? Our unresolved issues are created in between two opposite and equal polarization, which is called the binary of mind. It's like in between a tuning fork, a frequency becomes a sound. I remember those days, Uwe used to teach me the scale of an instrument he has tuned, striking the tuning fork and putting it on the instrument, and it will sound in which tune it has been tuned. Remember? And you explained me how this tuning fork is specially designed from some scientific workout place, that it holds the frequency of moon going round earth and earth going round sun, and earth revolving by itself. If these three frequencies are joined together, then that sound will come up. Isn't it, Uwe? Say something about it.
Yes. Yes, actually, this frequency which I showed you there was 136.1 hertz, which is the frequency of the Earth's rotation around itself. One of these three that you just mentioned. But within that one, the overtones, if that is the tonic, my tuning fork, then the fifth of it is the no, sorry, I go back. The frequency I showed you is the Earth year. Means the frequency of the Earth one time around the sun.
Yeah.
The 136.1 hertz, and the fifth over it means two-thirds of the frequency is the Earth day. It is so when I play the tuning fork of this frequency, the first overtone is identical with the Earth day. And the moon actually is the tritonus, the major third, like the augmented fourth. Yeah, the Mativra. So they all swing in that also. And also actually Mars and Jupiter and Venus, to all our solar system, is overtones of this frequency.
So this is Brahmanada in the Nada Shastra, or sound frequencies as a yoga. So this is how it works. So it's the tuning fork is creating that polarization in between the frequency is taking place. So if there was no polarization, there wouldn't have been any frequencies. If there was no frequency, there wouldn't have been any life. So significance of life is frequency, nada. So thus, those who wanted to answer the significance of life, the words came to them as songs. The Vedas are also in songs. The Dharma Shastras are all in songs. The Upanishads are in chanda, a rhythm of frequencies. And if you come to Tantra, when you are worshipping a deity, you are first worshipping the Rishi who created the deity. How a human being can create a deity? From a chanda. Chanda means a rhetoric, a rhythm, a beat. This beat is holding the frequency of the sage or the Rishi who is creating the deity. He's a particular mood frequency. And then from there comes a sound, which is the Vija mantra of the deity coming into form. So from Rishi to Chanda, Chanda to mantra, sound frequency. From sound frequency to Kilaya, or applied in a particular nervous system, part of the nervous system, any particular part where that mood works, this particular parts of the chakras, and how from there the Kilana or application of the sound creates the vision of the deity. And then comes the deity. So Rishi, Chanda, Rishi is the sage or the realizer. Chanda is his rhythm of his mood, creating mantra or the frequency of sound, the frequency of sound is applied in yoga, and from application of yoga, manifestation of the deity happens. So take yourself back into the journey. That is what happens as the grace of meeting a deity. Suppose you are doing Kali Sadhana and Ma appeared before it. What will happen to you? The deity will enter your kilaya. What is kilaya? It will enter your system of application in life, that experience. From there, it will take you to the mantras or sound frequencies which are subtler than the feelings in the body. And from the sound frequency, it will go to the rhythm or spanda, your rhythm of pulsation. And from there, you will become the sage when you enter the samadhi and come back from the samadhi. This is how, worshipping a deity, you will go into a particular samadhi. Deep. দীপকে দেখতে চাইছি।
Yes, Baba, I'm here.
কত নম্বর পেজে খুঁজে বেড়াচ্ছি, কোথায় গেল দীপ? হে দীপ, প্রজ্বলিত হও।
এই তো এখানে।
দেখো, নিজেরে হারায় খুঁজি, এই ঠিক আমার পাশে বসে আছে দীপ। দীপ, এই বিষয়টা কিন্তু তোমার ইন্টারেস্টের বিষয়, তোমার ছেলেবেলা থেকেও কিন্তু ঠিক ওটাই হতো, এখনো হয়ে চলেছে। এইবার কিন্তু দেবতাটার থেকে ফেরবার পালা তোমার রুটে, সেটাও হচ্ছে তোমার, অলরেডি শুরু হয়ে গেছে। তুমি ওখান থেকে এসেছ, এটা তোমার পূর্বজন্মের স্মৃতি, তুমি পূর্ব জন্ম এগুলো করেছ, এই স্মৃতিটা তোমার ভিতর উন্মোচন হচ্ছে। ইউ হ্যাভ ডান দিস বিফোর in your prior births. You know this system. Today they are revealing in you without any particular institutional caretaking. It's naturally revealing in you. It has revealed in you from childhood days. From there, your songs, your mantras, your envisions have come. Deep is very deep. Deep means lamp, but in English it is deep. It's very deep. So we had a long time internet dating, and then one day I had the good karmas to see deep in my eyes, and he was keeping short, absolutely with a cool face that he doesn't know anything. But this experience, what I'm talking, why I wanted to see him, that what I'm talking, he knows what I'm talking. He has experienced it. There are many more who has experienced it here. Maybe I don't know, maybe I know, but Deep is one who is to reveal songs and mantras and hymns from childhood days. And in those mantras, hymns, and songs, the deepest realities of the holy texts, particularly Tantra and Para, is to come out. So without being an institutional affiliated or initiated into Vajrayana, he is holding a Vajra frequency in him that is connecting him with the wisdom of this path. In Pragyaparamita, when Buddha and Subhuti was talking and discussing in matters, there were little debates also. And whenever there will be a debate, the other disciples of Lord Buddha, being very competitive of Subhuti, because Subhuti is the tribal, and all others in the congregation are Aryans. He's a Dravidian, he's a tribal being, one of the natives of India, native race. His sister was Sujata, who took care of Lord Buddha some 13 years after Buddha's great penance. And after that, Buddha sat for the final meditation and attained Nirvana. So they were challenging Subhuti. The Subhuti said something in a debate and Buddha praised, and immediately Sariputta said, "Isn't it, Lord, that whatever the elder Subhuti says by the grace of the Buddha, or he says from his own being?" And Subhuti said, and the Buddha said, he says from all the Buddha kids or Buddha Shravakas or the disciples of Buddha, they are actually flowing in the grace of the Buddha, in the realization of Buddha's voidness, which is the perfection of wisdom. And as many times they're listening to it, the wheel of their experience and analysis is moving, and more realizations are happening. It never stopped. It never stops. And thus, the bodhisattvas are within the grace of Buddha, because what the Buddha is speaking about, they're following that and ending up in the perfection of wisdom. Then Subhuti was asked, Subhuti the elder, are you speaking from your own being, or you are speaking from Buddha's grace? So Subhuti says a big lecture. I'm not going there, I'm making it short. What Subhuti said is, whatever I am saying, without my own being, I cannot say this. I have realized what Buddha said, and according to that, I'm saying. And because what Buddha said, that I have realized, it's not without the grace of Buddha that my own being has apprehended, appreciated, and experienced it. And then he asks a more terrible question, that when the truth that the Buddha speaks, there is not even the ego to witness it, then how there is a being or anybody's own being is speaking from a realization of the own being? So it became so complex that Sariputta got confused. Then Buddha laughed and said, so it is, Subhuti. If you see this discussion, you will see a pair of opposites continuously coming, challenging one side, challenging the other, and coming to a balance. This coming to a balance is the process of perfection of wisdom going on. Yeah. So this is carrying on. It will carry on. So the significance of life is the significance of the being. And the being is seized. The being is seized in Nirvikalpa Samadhi, in the deep sleep. Then whose significance it is? There's no duality there. Even a thought of non-duality is not there. You don't get duality to fight with and call it non-duality. That is also not there. What do you hold on to? Rohin, so are you understanding? If you have any question that is arising from this discussion, please participate. Because it's very difficult to go on lecturing Holy Cow Dung. So if others participate, I will feel some significance of my talking. So what do you think, Rohin, so about this significance? So synchronicity resolves this question of significance. Samadhi is the cause of the synchronicity. So your journey to reach the samadhi is significant of the past, that is moving towards the goal. When you have reached the goal, it's alak niranjan. There's no goal. You are not there even. What to speak of a goal for you? So the ambition wears out. The identity that was holding on to an ambition has eroded out. And then in that state of no experience, when you come down experiencing back, rebirthing, the significance of life is life as it is. What is that? Is it abstract? No. Now you are like a tree. You are enjoying in your roots, holding on to earth, and enjoying in your branches, leaves, flowers, and fruiting the air and the sky and the light of the sun. So what extra significance is there? Nothing. There's no special. Everything is special. Everything is special. Something may not be for you because you have your own dual boundaries in the world of duality. But there is no more significance because the life itself is its significance. Your state of nothing has entered a state of being. Your state of being has dissolved into nothing. And your state of nothing is regenerating your being. And the nothing has become being and becoming. And the nothing is no more disturbed. And because the nothing is no more disturbed, you are balanced. And once you are balanced, you don't find what the misbalance was. So seeing life as it is, the Zen meditators, the Taoist meditators, the Dzogchen pose of Tibet, the Aghoris of Shaivism, the Gnostics of the Holy Spirit, the Kabbalists of the Eye of Wisdom, the Shaktas of Adyashakti, the Vaishnavas of Krishna Shankarshana equipoise, the Sufis of the unexpressed being expressed. They all see the same thing. If there would have been no religion, what would have happened to you? you would have been less disturbed. Because meaningless ambitions were not pushed into your veins with a lot of complexities to know the truth. When you know many things, you really do not know the truth. When you start unknowing, the truth appears. So the real nihilism is to be practiced in the mind and not outside. And that is not cutting off objectives, but not being disturbed by any objectives, even any subjective attainment. If somebody says you can cut off the objectives by subjective attainment, it's again from one extreme, somebody is pushing you to the another extreme, and the tennis ball has jumped from one racket to the other side of the court, and the other racket will push it back. Thus, between two opposites, so long we move, and our movement creates our thoughts, and our thoughts creates our confusions, and our confusions creates our philosophies, and our philosophies creates our complexities. Will go, vanish out in a moment, in the moment of samadhi, the perfect balance. So enter spiritual movement is not standing on religions, whether I'm a Hindu or a Buddhist or a Muslim or a Christian or a Jain or a Vaishnava or a Shaiva or a Vaishnava or a Shakta or a Jew or a Sikh or even I'm Sikh, doesn't matter. These are all fabrications. My friend Yogi Surajnath ji, who is an accomplished being in the process of dying, means quite you see your identities dying and you reach the death. So that is like the state of an irreversible Buddha, irreversible Bodhisattva, who carries on this practice till this is settled down. So he says everything is fabrication. Everything is a framework. Because we cannot take the sky as it is, we need to see it from a visionary frame, making it of our own limits, we feel comfortable with it. So those who are stuck to religions, they feel very uncomfortable when the talk of balance goes. They are the hungry ghosts and goblins. They don't like a spirituality without a fundamentalist religious seal. Because they cannot think of any spirituality. They have not practiced any spirituality their entire life. They have only practiced religion and trying to climb some identity, some social recognition, some motive to earn money. What is the significance of this? Now see how interesting it is. In a virtual satsang, you get to meet ghosts and goblins who have no faces, but their scary voices. What? We can hack you. We can hack you. So they express their hackers. In Western exorcism or the Christian exorcism, when you are possessed by a demon, the exorcist will come and ask you, who are you? Who are you? And the demon will do anything to stop you knowing the demon's name. Once you know the name of the demon is gone. It's your negativity. The negativity will continuously create traumas till you know what the negativity is. Who is that negativity? Which identity of you is disturbing you? Then and there, that identity is vanquished because you know it is not you. Neither you are possessed by anything. It's your own cultivation of negatives that is taking over you. So if you call it psychotherapy, it will be look into your negatives. If you call it exorcism, ask the demon his name. And if there is a Siddharth is asking, I see unknown faces sometimes when I am at sleep and at times when I'm awake too. Not sure if I should be asking this question in this session, but just wanted to seek guidance on this. You are perfect time and synchronicity you have asked this. These unknown faces are created in your subconscious first. So there are some unknown issues in you or issues which are not resolved. So when issues which are not resolved in you are getting more energy in your dream, they will come out from there and they will definitely catch such frequencies around you. It can be thousands of miles away, a frequency which correlates to this frequency will come to you. This is seeing these beings in your dream. It can also be that it is a premonition. A distant frequency came to you, reached you, and you had a momentary vision. And then you cannot focus on it. But maybe in another 3 years, you see the same person in a foreign land and you are astounded. Oh my God, I've seen this person in my dream before. It is something similar in both of you. That one's frequency has communicated with you. And if you need more mystic explanations, we have our most beloved Joy here, who can give you the most mystic explanations of it. Joy say about something about time portal and appearances of these faces from the past into future and
Sure.
touching the present.
I was just thinking, I had that happen many times in my life, or certain periods in my life. I saw many faces and then came to encounter those people.
Yes.
Oh, it does happen.
So this again satisfies, Siddharth, the understanding of everything is connected. We are all connected. I have a bowl song where I'm saying, oh my mind, see yourself just as a fish in the aquarium. It's the same water going out and in from you and other fishes too. If you are a little fish, the big fish is dominating over you. And there are bigger fishes that can dominate the big fish too. But we are in and out the same water. This is also a yoga, very deep yoga, called Jalandhari Yoga or Jalandhari Mudra. Rishabh will be interested in it. Rishabh stays silently, but he scrutinizes over the yogas and mudras. You have heard in Thailand, there are traditional scuba divers, and then they don't put mask or take oxygen tank. They just go into the depth of the sea or the ocean and come out. After a long time of meditating underwater. Maybe today they don't meditate upon under the water. They try to find out what they are trying to find out in the bottom of the sea or in the sea, in the depth of the sea. But previously there were great yogis in Siam or Thailand, all these Indonesian islands. This Jalandharipa was Matsyendranath, or Matsyendranath's one main disciple was Jalandharnath, whose disciple was again Kanithnath or Kanhapa. So Matsyendranath was also a fisher, and once Matsyendranath told Jalandharnath was from Jalandhar, that is why he's called Jalandharnath, the Nath from Jalandhar. So Jalandhar is in Punjab, you know, northwestern India. That Jalandhar, when I was a fisherman, the moment I threw the net into the water, in the strings that I'm holding, I can feel how many fishes has entered, and I can even count them by the sensation of their fins moving, and I'm getting the frequencies through the threads. Hearing that, Jalandhar jumped into the water. And stayed long there. After a long time, he came up by saying, "Oh, my master, you are not netting me. I'm waiting for you to net me, to catch me in your net. I want to be sure, my Lord, that I am a soul caught by you, that I don't have to have the responsibility. You will take me to enlightenment." So Matsyendranath got stunned seeing this great love, big devotion, and faith in yoga, that he jumped into the water, and what accomplishment he has done in holding breath or kumbhaka, that he stayed a long time underwater and came up by saying, "I'm waiting so long. You are not catching me by your net. I want to know that you are feeling me in your fingers." Matsyendranath was very happy and told Jalandharipa, "From today, this great technique will be known as Jalandhari Mudra by the yogis. And every yogi who will know about it will practice it deep into the water, sit there and feel the spanda of the water. And in the spanda of the water, will feel the spandas of innumerable lives in water. Exactly as you can breathe on the shore and feel everybody's frequency in your breathing. It's a habit. You practice, anybody can do it. These are not just theories. You start one day, you will of course end up in its accomplishment in another day. One of my Guru brothers, I knew he was called Omolda, we used to call brother Omol. He was a madman. Everybody used to make fun of him in the congregation of our Guru because he used to sit straight and breathless in front of the Guru and listening. And there was no expression that he has understood. He has not understood anything. So every time Baba Thakur used to look at him, he used to say, Amol, you understand? And people used to feel very competitive that Baba Thakur is not calling anybody, only calling Amol. So they used to tease Amol. So one day a person was making fun of him. I took him to a place where Amolda used to take a dip in the Ganges, in a particular ghat of the Ganges. Like sea has beaches, the Ganges have ghats. Those who have come to India and Benares, they know the ghats. So it was a Calcutta ghat where Amolda plunged into water, keeping his bag of things with me, and came up after 5 hours. By the time my other Guru Bhai, Guru brother, is thinking he has died, he has been carried away, he's getting restless, he's talking to me, we should call the police, we should. I said, you don't have to do anything, just sit here. So when Amolda came up, I told this man, you make fun of this yogi every day out of your jealousy, because Baba Thakur, discussing anything about deep yoga, looks at Amolda and says, Amol, don't you understand this? So thus, those who do not know the depth of experiences, they don't understand it. But they cannot tolerate that somebody else understands it. Out of that self-contradictory ignorance, they turn to goblins and ghosts and demons and evil spirits. But there is a saying in Hindi, Baap ke bhi baap hota hai. Even the father has father. So it is those who think they're very powerful to disturb others, they should know that there can be more powerful people than them. But more powerful people do not use their powers because they have patience, because their extreme powers make them cool. So they see the fun the kids are doing very seriously. So, Siddharth, when you see these beings, don't be afraid. Try to say to yourself, now I have to ask these beings where they are and where from they have come. Either you will know that they will communicate with you. If they are intruding your mind, they will definitely communicate with you. You have to ask them in the dream, or else the moment you ask, they are vanished. See, we asked the ghosts and goblins who came here, who are you? And they vanished. Some were still disturbing. It's quite good reggae going on. I was thinking that some of us can start dancing. But somehow, Chinima exorcised them. Thank you, Chinima, on behalf of everybody, that you are an exorcist, a virtual exorcist. Haribol, Haribol, Haribol. Adesh. Okay. Jessica has put, Terrell used to do this free diving without a tank for many years before he started yoga asana and sitting meditation. Tero enjoyed the water element a lot. And from that enjoyment, his emotions cognited towards moksha or liberation. Tero is a person in my life, Jessica's husband, who was sincerely looking for salvation. I said, why you want a salvation? What is your bondage? He said, he speaks very less. He just said, then he said, a kind of self-possessed. So that is the exact moment of mumuksha, or the will for liberation. So if we along with nature, from there I support joy. Joy is very anti-artificial, and I love that. But joy sometimes gets very wrathful in that matter. But that's true. Those who can live in nature, indulge in nature, take all the pain of living in nature, their inner wisdom experience starts coming up. You have to give me 5 minutes time. Oh, it's already done. Ma has done it. My internet battery is going. I need to put the charger. Now see, when the charger is about to empty, it becomes dark. So when the visions, inner visions are blurred and dark, you know you need to charge yourself. Some people charge themselves with a bottle of whiskey. Some people charge themselves with a chilam, some with meditation, some with a new boyfriend or girlfriend. But the charging is very necessary. And we are today getting charged in this satsang from everybody's connection, everybody's spirituality. Maybe I'm speaking here mainly, but it's not mine. This consciousness belongs to everybody because everybody belongs to this consciousness. Chaitanya Murtaye Namaha. We bow down to the Lord, to the Guru, who is the embodiment of consciousness. And this Guru is residing in everybody of you. Otherwise, how you analyze, how you realize your own experiences, how you realize what others are speaking about their realizations, how you feel listening to what others are feeling, because it's the flow of same consciousness. We are all fishes in a tank. So today, what's the time now? Let me see. 12:20. So with a lot of talking, it needs some music, isn't it? What do people say? More talking or some music before a little more talking? People say, come up. Don't you need music? We have great musicians here. Today, Buji, Ma, and
Music,
Sharon.
music.
Music.
Yes. Today, Bujima and Sharon will do a song. Bujima will sing a song. And Sharon is a drummer. He will play his drums with Bujima. We want to see you a bit close. Like just after the crazy couple's honeymoon in a tent. Just in Facebook, we have seen Bujiman Sharan Baba there with their car full of things and tents going out. I told them, have a real honeymoon in the nowhere, somewhere which is nowhere, and see how their like lights are coming out from their face. With those feelings, please Buji sing a song, and Shedan Baba, you play your drum.
Yes, Baba.
Güzelliğin on par etmez, güzelliğin on par etmez. Bu bendeki aşk olmasa, eğlenecek yer bulamam. Gönlümdeki köşk olmasa, eğlenecek yer bulamam. Gönlümdeki köşk olmasa. Your beauty wouldn't worth even 10 paisa if there wasn't this divine love in me. You wouldn't find a place to enjoy if there wasn't this mention in me. Tabirin sığmaz kaleme, tabirin sığmaz kaleme, derdim dermandır yareme, ismin yazılmaz aleme, aşıklarda meşk olmasa, ismin yazılmaz aleme, aşıklarda meşk olmasa. Interpretation of you doesn't fit in pencil. The pain you gave is the medicine for my wound. Your name wouldn't be written in realms if there was no bliss of practice in lovers. Kim okurdu, kim yazardı? Kim okurdu, kim yazardı? Bu düğümü kim çözerdi? Koyun kurdile gezerdi. Fikir başka başka olmasa. Koyun kurdile gezerdi. Fikir başka başka olmasa. Who would read, who would write, who would untie this knot? Ships would go around with wolves if the ideas weren't different from each other. Güzel yüzün görülmezdi, güzel yüzün görülmezdi. Bu aşk bende bilinmezdi, güle kıymet verilmezdi. Aşıkla maşuk olmasa, güle kıymet verilmezdi. Aşıkla maşuk olmasa. Your beautiful face wouldn't be seen. This love in me wouldn't be resurrected. No value would be given to roses if there was no lover and beloved. Senden aldım bu feryadı, senden aldım bu feryadı. Bu imiş dünyanın tadı, anılmazdı Veysel adı. O sana aşık olmasa. Anılmaz Veysel adı, o sana aşık olmasa. I received this outcry from you. So this was the taste of life. His name wouldn't be remembered as Veysel, who is the poet here, if he wasn't in love with you. Anılmaz Veysel adı, o sana aşık olmasa. Joy. I cannot hear you, Baba. Unmute yourself.
What is this language? Language of this
This
song?
is Turkish. Turkish language. Yes.
Bujima comes from a very old clan that Bujima is now researching on. It's very strange history. This clan was a kind of a tribal clan who were disciples of Hazrat Ali, but they are not Muslims. At least Bujima thinks she is not Muslim. They were persuaded to being Muslims for the time being, but they don't recognize so. They worship Hazrat Ali as the avatar who came down directly to human beings from sky. If I'm wrong, Buji, correct me.
We know him from long time back, like not as Ali, but his past incarnations.
Okay. So this tradition believes that Ali reincarnates and comes back to them again and again. And they offer even wine to Ali. Which is prohibited in Islam, but Sufis sing a lot of wine. So it is a school in what this tribe was, Buji, in which country today you recognize as the roots of your clan, or they were nomads?
It is in between Persia today, Turkey, Armenia, and Syria.
So once it was a clan, but they were like nomads. Because in the tunes of your songs, there is a very much camel tune. Like the beat is like the moving of the camel in the desert. Most of the Arabic tunes have that quality.
Mm-hmm.
The movement of the camel. The Russians, their beats are like the hoofing of the horses, very strong. It's basically the spanda that you are habituated in you that will get expressed in your pure emotions. And music is the pure emotion that connects you with your being, in your pure sensation. So there, these tunes come and flow in. Like a time, a very famous movie art music director in Bengal, in West Bengal. She's a very famous singer also, named Upali Chattopadhyay. She was very favorite of mine. Now she's a big singer for the Bengali screens and a music director composing music in TV and things. So she was doing her PhD on notations of Rabindranath Tagore, how he made notations of his songs. So when she entered, like sectioning the characters of Rabindranath's songs and its notations, he found the maximum part of his songs and its notations have come from the devotional mystics of the Vaishnavas singing Kirtan and these crazy yogis singing the Baul songs. So she started a field study that who will know what is the characters of the notation, why their notations, because these masters never kept notations. So Rabindranath, their free natural singers, was doing notation on their songs and changing a little has made his own songs. Like he has made the tunes of his songs. So why he gave so much importance to this crazy folk songs and its character of the tune and the compositions. So she went to many high singers and masters. Nobody can guide him. Most of them, according to heart, that they referred to me. And it was Baul Mela in Joydev, the greatest Baul Mela of the year. Every year it congregates more than 3 lakhs of people. First time Uwe and, not first time I went alone, but later Uwe and Helen used to go with me. And our time in Baul Mela, it's unforgettable. So there, Upali, in much later, in the late, in the at about 2010-11, I think, I met this lady in Joydev Mela. I was sitting near my tent and it was dark, and there was another mad tantric Aghori master, Alokapa. I think Jenima will recollect Alokapa. Alokapa is no more, he has left his body. So Alokapa was there and we were making a holy pipe and we were having holy drink of ambrosia. And this girl came with a friend of mine who is also a very famous Indian singer who has even composed Spanish songs. He's a Spanish interpreter also, Abhijit Basu. So Upali was Abhijit Basu's student of folk songs. And Upali was daughter of a very high music master, a traditional music guru, was a master of Rabindra Sangeet from Calcutta. And suddenly we were talking, me and Alokapa talking, having fun. Then all our sadhu bandhus have crowded. And suddenly in front of me, I'm seeing a girl sitting and flowing tears. So Alokapa saw her. And Alokapa said, "Why in this place you are crying?" Alokapa is very mad. He lives in a cremation ground. Why? What happened to you? Why you are messing our party? And she was a bit shaken and pointed out to me. And Alokapa said, "What did you do to him, her, that she's crying behind you and for you she's saying?" Alokapa started up. Alokapa is mad. And Alokapa is very intense, but a very, very good friend of mine, much older to me, disciple of Satyananda Giri, who was my guru brother once, through Ramnath Agori Baba. But later he took to the Giri lineage. So he said, so I looked at her and said, what happened to you? And she was not being able to talk. Her voice was choking, and said, what happened to you? So after she cooled down a bit, she said, I am hearing about you from many sadhus. And today, when I came here, my Vaishnava Guru Dayal Baba was there. He was that time some 100, in his 120th year or around it. And he said to Upali, whom you are trying to find will come, but you have to call him by a song, any song you choose to call him. So she said, if we sing a song, he will come. Well, why don't you try it and see? So she sang a Baul song. That is the time I'm entering the Mela. And I heard that song. It is one of my most favorite songs. Horinam diye jagat matale akla nitai. Akla nitai, akla nitai, akla nitai, akla nitai. Horinam diye jagat matale amar akla nitai. In Shiur, when we made the temple of Nityananda Prabhu, there we made this song as the main song for Arati, the main song of the song offering. And she is a very good singer, and she was singing it in the mic. I could hear. So when I came and sat down, and Alokapa said, what a song going on, Kappa Baba. He's also another Kappa Baba. Yes said, yes, Alokapa Baba, what a song. And Alokapa said, in this bliss of the song, we should now have a toast. So he took out his skull bowl, I took out my skull bowl, and we started having ambrosia. So by that time, when Upali has finished the song, and she came and is sitting behind me, and I'm facing Alokapa, and we are having our most enjoying pirates fight and love. You know, pirates, if they want to express love to you, they will have fight. So Alokapa was like that. He loved to fight. So he's fighting with me, and all the sadhus, they're all enjoying this fun. And I am also doing fun with him. Meaningless debates and laughter going on. And when Upali came and sat beside me, and she had tears in her eyes that Alokapa saw in the dark, and said, why are you crying? Then she said that Dayal Baba said that I have to call you by a song, then he will come. I was becoming impatient for a long time. I'm hearing about you and not being able to meet you. And all the sadhus were waiting for you, and we were thinking why you were doing so late. So now I am seeing you, I am very overwhelmed, so I'm crying. So she said that Dayal Baba made me sing that song. I said, oh, you were singing that song. Oh, let us now go to Dayal Baba and say how he made this magic. So then we went to Dayal Baba and we asked Dayal Baba. He was 110, 12, 100 and some 20s, 120s in his age. And he started laughing. He does not have one single tooth. He's absolutely wisdom reincarnate. If you want to know what is Baul wisdom, you have missed seeing Dayal Baba. That how a man is more than God, who is holding the entire existence in his being, is Dayal Baba. Unbelievable. Here, Kaveri Amma is there, who has seen him, talked with him, And he continuously used to talk in metaphoric language. It was so difficult that everything he's speaking is metaphoric, that sometimes I used to say, stop, Baba, stop, please. My head cannot take any more. I cannot make any more sense. And he used to laugh, pointing out to me. So that is how he's kicking our head. He's speaking funny absurdities, but he's speaking wisdom. If you understand what he's speaking, he's happy. But if he sees that he spoke and everybody's seriously listening, then he will stop, not speak anymore. Because he understood nobody is understanding what he's speaking. So Dayal Baba showed to me like this. He was very comical and told Upali, say, I told you, you sing a song and Baba will come. You have to sing only from heart and believe. All notations you are searching comes from the heart. When you hear the heart, you know the notation. So I was working with Upali with this notation when we brought out the dohas of the 84 Siddhas. And with these 84 Siddhas or 84 Siddhas dohas, I was finding they have used very mad rhetoric prosody, where from they have got this beat, and every line the beat is changing. So we tried to sing every line differently and taped it, because every line's meter is different meter, different rhythm. But when we joined all together, we found that two couplets make one composition. And the next two couplets makes another composition. So the beats are changing, but the tune may stay the same tune. And how they are making these beats and coming back to the beat they started. So this is the madness. The real craziness is from where you start, you just proceed. And one day you find you have come back where you started from. And that is the moment of synchronicity. Sadhana is exactly that. When you started towards the horizon, when that horizon is under your feet and you recognize that looking at the horizon is always the same distance, but the horizon is under your feet. That is the day of synchronicity. That day, it will reach you to a space that you were so long searching, because you were searching your being. And when your search has weared off everything else, but only your being has remained, in that being, you come back and see where you started from, you are back there. I remember one Bengali poet, Sudhindranath Datta, in one of his songs called The Ostrich, said a line that the shadow has got eroded under my feet. Like the ostrich, like he's talking that the ostrich is running into the desert. And one day the journey is so long, it will lose its shadow under its feet. That is the day of synchronicity. Kuldev, do you understand? Do you follow what I'm saying?
Yes, Baba.
The trouble is,
Yes.
what I'm saying is not in the words, but behind the words.
Be behind the words.
Yeah. Acha, Maitreyasangha has alerted me. 3 hours have passed. Now I think people are tired enough to say goodbye. বিপ্লব, তোর মুখ দেখতে পাচ্ছি না কেন? ঠিকঠাক পৌঁছেছিস বাবা?
Baba,
Yes.
I have one more question.
Someone is asking something.
I have one
Okay,
more
okay.
question. Am
Yeah.
I talking on top of someone else? I hope nobody else is.
No
I wanted
problem.
to ask this synchronicity. Has it something to do with the holy, the Trinity knot, past, present, future? Are they the same thing?
If you see the consciousness, it is the same thing. If you see this Trinity, suppose we start with the Trinity, you know, Son, Father, and the Holy Spirit. Before creation, there was no God. Bible says, before creation, there was Word. Word was in God, and God was in Word. God was Word. So the concept of Holy Spirit is beyond creation. So what is that word? The word of silence. That manifested as creation, because as word wants to express, that voidness expressed itself as the cosmic being. This is the same as the Shunya Shukta of Rig Veda, that there was nothing before creation, and the spirit of pure consciousness was flowing through water. In Bible, it is saying the Spirit of God was fluttering through water. Same line as the Genesis and Rig Veda Shunya Sukta. And then everything happened. And that everything happened was a big blast. And that big blast is Brahman, the Big Bang. So this, the moment now we are concentrated on the cosmic consciousness and personifying the cosmic consciousness, because there is a creation, and in a creation, everything has name and form in human mind, and thus we call it God. So this is how the Holy Spirit became God. The voidness became the great expanse of cosmic expansiveness. And that is manifested in a human being called Jesus Christ, or any realizer who has reached these stages of experience. And thus Christ says, my God and I are the same in New Testament. So the Holy Trinity of Holy Spirit, God, and the Son of God being God himself in a human form is what the Buddhists will say the dead skull is representative of Dharmakaya, or the substratum consciousness, in biblical language, Holy Spirit. The wrathful face of Mahakala is next, is called Nirmanakaya, or the creative embodiment, the creation, operation, and destruction in its own embodiment, personified, is Sambhogokai, or who is enjoying every opposite at the same time. And then is the head of a Buddha called Nirmanakaya. So the second is Sambhogakaya, not Nirmanakaya. Sambhogakaya means one who enjoys everything. So God created this universe out of God's own bliss. He blasted out into the cosmic universe. That's the observation of the early visionary realizers. And then it has been expressed by the enlightened being who has experienced the God and the voidness in his or her own self. So that is called Nirmanakaya, or the created body. So the created body, everybody can become a son, a daughter, a child of God, because God has created you out of God's own image. If this is the ultimate line of the being of human, or the human being, the truth of human being, which in Sufism will call the light of God in our soul, the glitter of the Noor in our Ruh. Shaivism will call it, in the Atma resides the Paramatma, and in the journey of the Atma, or the self, Paramatma, or the pure consciousness is achieved. A Shakta, a lover of the mother goddess, says, "Oh my mother, can you change my material awareness into pure consciousness? Can you change my mindfulness into pure consciousness? Amar chetona chaitanya kore dao go chaitanyamani." Same thing Moses said when he parted the Black Sea, that God, you have led me to free my people, and now we're trapped. Manifest within me and listen to my will. Let us go to the other shore. And the Black Sea parted. That is the story. So this is synchronicity. This is magic between the inner and the outer. So this Trinity in India has come as duality, which is the prophet is in the dual world. God is in non-duality. And dual, beyond duality and non-duality, is the equipoise, from where the duality and non-duality both are corresponding to each other. Now the duality in Shiva is called Sundara, or the handsomeness of duality. Then Shiva is non-duality, which is good for everything. Shiva means the peaceful goodness that pervades everything. The term Shiva means. And then Satyam, or the truth. The truth is that equipoise. This will be in Shaktoism. Apara is duality. Apara means not transcendent. Then the non-duality is para, transcendental. So material, transcendental. And ultimately, material, transcendental, equality, the balance. So this Trinity is created basically in your mind, exactly through the recognition of past, present, and future. You are very right. That is the matrix, the triangle. That is the triangle of Tantra. You know, wait a minute. When we put a skull bowl, we use this triangle. So you are in the other side of the triangle, I am in this side of the triangle. This is void. So this is the portal that I can reach you and you can reach me. So on this trinity, then we put the skull bowl. Why? Because this trinity is what has created our brain. The Vedas will call it Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. So Tamas means inertia, Sattva means Rajas means activating energy or creative energy or energy of management, and Sattva is the witness consciousness. This is the difference, Manibrata, between spirit and soul. Soul is bounded by the three gunas of the Trinity and is continuously moving from one point to another, and in this endless move, an endless journey of life and death. But once you go into the center, all these points end up there, and there is no triangle, it's consciousness. That pure consciousness has dissolved the triangle. The triangle is in our concept. So the human mind is standing in this trinity, the witness consciousness, the activating consciousness, and the activated consciousness. All three are three modes, dynamic modes of pure consciousness. So Kopila, yes, Akatha. Somebody in Srividya Tantra, it is called Akatha. These are the code languages of Tantra. So this triangle is the pure consciousness becoming human consciousness. So entirety of human consciousness is standing on this duality, non-duality, which are fighting with each other, and dual, non-dual equipoise. Yes, Purushottam. It is also, the duality is called Kriya or Vad or movement or motion or doing, knowing, thinking. Non-duality is Gyan or wisdom. Because in Samadhi, you don't find this duality. Thus, you get the wisdom from there. And when you are in your early stages of Samadhi, you refute the dual by that experience of the non-dual. But more and more, you hatch the egg of your consciousness, and the phoenix is about to come out of you. You recognize the duality and non-duality are two opposite thoughts of the same thought of existence, binary. And the dual non-dual equipoise is willpower. The will without action and knowledge is nothing. So it is the will, that is the will of salvation. So if this is the triangle from this side, you see, then one is knowledge, and another is activity. Activity and knowledge are fighting with each other like a figure of 8, the energy is going. And it is more going up. The difference in the base is ended up here. In the apex of the triangle, the difference of the base 2 points are no more there. So neither duality is there, nor non-duality is there. That is the point of the resolution and dissolution of the matrix. And the matrix is no more there. So if these 3 points you can observe at the same time that your body is in the activity of the spanda, your mind has died, and your witness consciousness has dissolved, then knowledge, action, knowledge, and equipoise, these 3 differences dissolve then and there. That is the Nirvikalpa Samadhi. That is why in Tantra, when you see this upward, it is Shiva. Why? Exactly the way I used it to show you the mathematics of the equation to nothingness. Whereas this is Shakti or Kilana, that these 2 equal opposites in willpower is getting applied in life. So life is the balance. The significance of life is the balance in between the 2 equal and opposite poles when it is actually not 2. Oh, there are 10 more questions. Okay. Thank you, Rohinso. Did you understand it? Or,
yes, Baba.
Or
yes, I did.
You were just okay. I thought you loved me so much. You are giving me a relief now, Baba. You have blurbed meaninglessly for last 3 hours. Nothing goes into anybody's head because you speak all holy cow dung. So now I forgive you. You don't have to answer me anymore. It can also be, see, Rohinso's face. It's very significant that he has realized it's meaningless to ask something to Baba. He will go on boring me with all abstract thoughts for next 2 hours.
Thorough answers, thorough answers.
But see,
Very
today, we are discussing, it's all about synchronizing in the same point. See that, this is happening today. If the ghosts and goblins didn't come and disturb you, today this synchronicity wouldn't have happened. So we thank all the ghosts and goblins. And we tell
Thank
them,
you.
see, somebody thanked us. So all ghosts and goblins, we thank you. Bhuta preta pishachascha ye vasantatva bhutale te sadvya apasarpantu apasarpantu shivastrena tarita deshadamasad vinusritva pujamatkrang pashyantu. So when you do a puja, first thing you do is to give a pot of offering to the hungry ghosts, goblins and evil spirits and ask them to go out of your territory and enjoy the puja. But when Aghoris do the puja, they invite them in the territory. Present be, Satan be present with us and enjoy our partying. Hello, Satan. there is a story of Buddha and Satan. One day, Buddha heard when he was quite old and he was becoming slow because he's old. He likes to sit or lay down for hours and hours and hours. He just heard that Ananda, his secretary and his disciple and cousin at the same time of his own age, is debating with somebody. So what did Buddha hear? The person came and knocked at the vihara where Buddha was sleeping or meditating. And Ananda asked, "Who are you?" She said, I've come to meet the Buddha. She said, Buddha is now taking rest. How can Buddha should not get disturbed now, you can wait. Okay, he said, okay, I will wait. Okay, what is your name? Because if he's a VIP, he has to call Buddha now. That is the system of a monastery. Buddha is now caught up in a monastic system. If VIPs call, he has to come up because VIPs run the monastery. Buddha said about it. So in the end of the story, you will get it. So then the man said, oh, I am Mara. What is your name? And said, I am Mara. Mara means Satan. Ananda almost leaped from his head out. You are Mara? How dare you think that Buddha will like to meet you? And Mara said, oh my God, nowadays Buddha is caught in liking and disliking. So Ananda said, no, he's not caught by liking and disliking. He's a Buddha. Buddhas are not caught by liking and disliking. But he hates you. You disturbed him so much during his meditation. And when he became a Buddha, you ran away. And now today you have come to disturb him. He hates you. Then Satan said, oh my God, nowadays Buddha also is hating. And they said, no. Buddha cannot hate. Is it possible for Buddha to hate? But give me a reason why he will like to see you. You are his enemy. Then Mara said, oh my God, nowadays Buddha is even recognizing the differences of friends and enemies. So at this moment, Buddha called Ananda. Ananda, with whom you were debating? He said, no, Lord, this man looks like a royal person, very handsome, adorned with gold and very good dresses. He wants to meet you, and he says he's Mara. The moment Buddha heard it is Mara, Buddha just jumped up from his seat of meditation and came out. Oh, Mara, my beloved friend, how long I have not seen you. And Buddha went and hugged that man and he was like kissing him and having a celebration. Oh, after such a long time I saw you. Mara, come up in my room. Said, Ananda, you are making this my old beloved friend waiting at the door. Come Mara, sit. So now Buddha and Mara are sitting in Buddha's bed. And Ananda is saying, what's happening? And Buddha said to Mara, long time I have not seen you. I was missing you. So how are you doing? Mara said, the business is not going well these days. Your teachings have spread all over and people are so disciplined and virtuous that they don't follow me at all. So I thought, like if whole world is surrendering to you, why I am standing away? I should also become your disciple. Why I am competing with you so long and I'm tired of competing. Buddha said, no, 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 no. Don't become my disciple. You will not be even powerful to be Mara. Why? See them. Like when you tapped at my door, Ananda, seeing you looking like a royal person, thought whether it will be right to make him wait for a long time when Buddha is meditating or resting, or if he is a very, really a high royal personage, you have to call Buddha, because Buddha needs to see the VIPs. If Buddha doesn't see the VIPs, how our monasteries will go? How without work we will have good food and clean dresses and good stone-made shelters? How we will get all these good things without working? Then how can we get time for meditation? So VIPs needs to be called. See, actually Ananda was waiting for you, Mara, not for me. He's tired of me, serving me so long. And thus, he is projecting his hatred on me, his liking and disliking in me, his sense of enemy and friend on me. But in my witness, I don't exist. Mara, you exist. And see, this entire Sangha you see, do you think it is Buddha's? No, Mara, they're actually following you. They have high ambition that they will one day become a Buddha. And they have high pride that they're disciples of Buddha. Their ego is undomitable, isn't it? Your religion, your work, I have failed, Mara, but I have no problem because I have failed. I know it's time for me to go. It is time for you to start your reign back on my people. As their examination, you stay here. So we thank all the ghosts and the goblins who came within us and created a thrill of exorcism. For a time being, we had a virtual samadhi. Then we got from Ma Chinmoyi, the mother of consciousness, another link. And then we came back here. Still you people are there, hidden behind different names and pictures or whatever, and you hack. So great, you are hackers. Bravo! If obstacles are not there, there is no fun in the journey. A pirate's sword will rust if there is no fight. Then what Jack Sparrow will do? So the beauty of life is the ghosts and goblins. If they were not beautiful things, why Ma Kali, Mahadev, as Mahakal will carry them as their retinues and enjoy? They have also significance in this Leela, in this drama. So we end up today. It's time for me to take a little rest.
Jai Guru Baba.
Jai Guru, Jai Guru.
Jai Guru, Jai